panels, this house believes that the theory of communism is immoral. Humans are actually social creatures. As a social creatures, we must uphold the equality between us. Let's make example how immoral you when you can eat $100 steak while watching homeless crying across of the street because they haven't eat for 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. How immoral you. And also, our stance, we believe equality is more morally justified, and the second is we believe communism is more morally if we can manage it well. What I mean about this, here I have a 2 point of argument, which is why we want equality, and the second is about how to manage it well. So before I'm going to my argument, I have a rebut for the government side of the house. They say that they worry about the people cannot working free to success in the future. But we respond that with, even you working hard for something doesn't mean you can success in the future. Let's make example. The scavenger working hard but mostly of them can really success, ladies and gentlemen. But with communism, the scavenger can live prosperous because they got their money or their right of money from the government, so they don't worry about anything. They just can live prosperous. But if you not apply the communism, this scavenger must working hard but still worrying about their future because of the equality itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because they can live prosperous, or even if they can't live prosperous if they are not working. And that's true. But in the other side, if we just apply the communism, they don't need to worry about that because they already, even that they are not really have to work hard, they will get the money from the government, so they can live more prosperous, ladies and gentlemen. Now going to our argument. In the first point, we got equality. What we mean about the equality, ladies and gentlemen? Without communism, the rich will be richer and the poor will be poorer. Why I can say like this? Because the richer people do business for themselves and do their regulation for they do their own regulation for their business. They manage it by themselves, and poor people don't get benefit from that. Like what I say earlier, the scavenger don't get the benefit from that. Why I can say? Because the rich people don't really see about how the poor people, ladies and gentlemen. But the government see about that. The employment controlled by the private, not the government. So poor will not get a job from the rich people because of they don't have a change. But if we give the production to the government, they can manage the employment better because they give employment to the poor people instead of just give it to the rich people to manage it. But the government can manage it well, and the government can see for the poor people because they have a responsibility about that. And also, the result, the point B of equality, the result of every production asset will be shared equally, so we can minimize the poverty and the poorness. Why I can say like this? Because in example, China can raise about 7 million poor people. They can free them from the poorness, ladies and gentlemen. Because of what? Because they are communism. Because they are shared the result of the every production asset equally, so they can reduce the poorness itself. And also we're going to our first argument, managing. Why I can say like this: we actually can manage the production. Even people want to have private production asset, ladies and gentlemen, because you must to see the communism in the more modern side. Will control the tax of the asset owner. We will give a more tax for the asset owner, so they can be a really rich, or they can just be rich, but in the fair way. And also we reduce the tax for the low income people, ladies and gentlemen, so they can have a chance to be not poor. And also, when every people prosperous, they can have their own production. This is the vision of the communism. They can have their own production, but of course they will working for the common good, and everyone will be equally. But in this case, I take this case from the China, because China already apply this. They see the communism in the more modern way. So we cannot just see the communism is from the past way, like what the people from the past do, because the communism is more modern now. We can see the result. The China is already be a developed country, but they have a communism ideology. By this we can see that the communism ideology is morally justified, because it can make a people not it can free the people from the poorness, from the poorness in the first point, and they can being a developed country, like what we can see right now. So we think that communism is not immoral, but actually the communism is really morally, because of what? Because the equality. Let's think if the people being rich and rich, and the poor will be get poorer. Of course this is immoral, right? This is immoral, because you don't see what your brother condition, like you are just doing life not as a social creature. So this is why we are, as a opposition side, don't believe that the theory of communism is immoral, because it's more morally justified, because we want to have equality, and we already see the result that the China are already success with this theory of a communism religion. So that's why we are opposed.